Welcome back to Asafo Academic. Happy New Year. 2023 is here, and we are going to start off this new year with a bang. So, I wanted to do this because I've been, the topic of misinformation and disinformation is something I wanted to jump into. And I didn't fully cover and give my thoughts on the Tory Lanez trial, but I think this is a good case study of misinformation, disinformation, how media, especially independent media, um, really have to hold themselves to a higher standard when it comes to reporting the news. And I think this is a very great opportunity to use DJ Academics as an example, as just to show some of the ways he was moving during this trial. So in this video, I'm going to give you three major issues of misinformation that I've seen from DJ Academics. One of the details actually misled me. So to be completely honest, I watched several different independent outlets throughout the trial. There are several different people covering this trial. DJ Academics, there was a lawyer called Lawyer for Workers. There is a Houston radio host called Milagro Grams. There's also Nick at Night, Armand Wiggins, the official King Payne. There was Dennis Byron. Shout out to Dennis Byron. So I didn't just stick to one person. I stick to, a good collection of people who are at the trial. So I did it because that's how I do. I think that's the best way to digest information is never to get it from one source. It's always better to have multiple sources so you get a better picture and you overlap pretty much what everybody is saying. But in terms of this topic, the three major times I've seen DJ Academics give out misinformation, and I still see some of the misinformation being repeated still to this day, even after the guilty verdict. The first one, I think the main one, and I think this was really what caused the issue with DJ Academics being more biased towards Tory Lanez, and I think he was always biased towards Tory Lanez because they did have a relationship, right? But I think when he did this tweet really raised my eyebrows into the kind of reporting he was doing, very fast and loose. So the first issue is with the whole tweet with the DNA, right? So DJ Academics, he first tweeted, this was on February 23. DJ Academics first tweeted that there was no DNA evidence on the gun, right? Academics claimed via Twitter no DNA evidence was found on the weapon. He later deleted that tweet once he got the backlash, right? And the truth was, it wasn't that there wasn't any DNA evidence, but from this update here, after Academics deleted the initial tweet, Tory Lanez trial adjourned until April, with Tory's lawyer telling the court they have completed DNA results from the prosecution, which is very pleasing to his client. He said he saw the doc itself. It literally says it was inconclusive in finding Tory DNA on the gun or magazine. See, now he's saying now one of y'all finna tell me my eyes deceive me. I ain't Tasha K. Stop playing with me. So Tasha K is another independent media blogger, right? So I understand what academics is trying to say here, but he made a mistake in saying that inconclusive was negative, right? Because inconclusive does not mean negative. I think that's the problem. I think, DJ Academics was a little bit fast and loose. And to be quite honest, I don't think he knew the definition of inconclusive. So he wrongly attributed inconclusive to negative. So the issue wasn't that you were wrong. The issue was that he reported the wrong. Well, yeah, the issue was he was wrong. He reported the wrong information. He had thought he had posted the correct information because he would have said that Tory's DNA was inconclusive, which doesn't mean positive or neutral. Or I mean, sorry, it doesn't mean positive or negative. It doesn't mean his DNA was on the gun, and it doesn't mean his DNA wasn't on the gun. That's what inconclusive means. I know to many people, maybe younger people, maybe people who don't read as much, maybe to immigrants, and I'm not trying to be rude to immigrants, I'm just saying immigrants coming to a new country, learning the English language, definitely deal with a lot of hurdles. So hearing the word inconclusive sounds like conclusive, but it's just not, right? So he received a lot of backlash. And I think this was what really started Akademiks' push to be more biased towards Tory. So he says, Meg gotta call the DA and ask him if it's true. I don't know why she up on here tagging me in a post like I just be making shit up. Well, see, the problem is you said that his DNA wasn't on the gun, but that wasn't the case. So that you did make shit up essentially. Maybe he doesn't realize how he made shit up. Maybe he doesn't realize that he reported a little bit too fast. Maybe he doesn't realize he didn't know what the word inconclusive means, but you definitely reported the wrong shit. So, and just a little, I just gotta mention this about disinformation and misinformation. Disinformation is when you purposely put out false information to the public. Misinformation is when you unintentionally put out false information to the public, meaning you did not know that the information was false. So in that case, I mean, misinformation is not a rare thing. Media outlets usually give retractions when they give out disinformation when they realize that they messed up, and it's a normal part of the game. Just retract what you said, and it's in line with journalistic standards. So here, by the way, Meg can get the same document that they referenced in court today. Hopefully, she's entitled to see what the DA will be using against Tory, being that she's the victim. As part of discovery, ask the DA what the completed DNA test said, then come back and apologize to Big AK. So I see what he's doing. Like he's trying to save face for the initial misstep because he said breaking. I should have gotten the tweet, but he had breaking Tory's DNA not found on the gun. So he made it seem like his DNA wasn't on the gun at all, when in reality it was inconclusive. And there's many different reasons why DNA could be inconclusive. I'm not going to get into it, but the main thing was academics said there was no DNA, and in fact, it was inconclusive. So this is Meg the Stallion's response. So like Big AK, a Soldier Boy voice, little boy, please, why would you post there was no DNA found, but now saying it's inconclusive? How are you specifically able to see documents before they come out in court? What you saying is his lawyer sharing evidence with bloggers. Got it. Take your big on somewhere. So this goes to the heart of the issue that academics is ignoring. He reported there was no DNA found when in actuality it was inconclusive. And I just really think he just did not know the definition of inconclusive. But even till this day, after the guilty verdict, you have people still saying Tory's DNA was not found on the gun. You still have people saying that. And I think a big part of that is this misstep with academics and just general education levels. People don't know the definition of inconclusive. Like, I mean, I know it has conclusive in the word, but it's not exactly, doesn't mean what it sounds like, essentially, right? So moving on to the next thing. So that was the big one. This was before the trial, right? So now I have an issue. The second main issue was essentially during the trial. So the second piece of disinformation is going to come from one of Akademiks' live streams, and he is reacting to the color of the gun. So I'm not going to put the video. I don't want to deal with no strikes, but I would put the audio and I will put up the video just enough so you can see what exactly he's presenting. So in this video, and it's still up, it's called DJ Akademiks Reacts to Zesty Gun. Tory Lanez used to shoot Megan Thee Stallion, explains how it works. This is on the Your Plug channel, so I don't think this is an official DJ Akademiks channel. It's one of those compilation channel clips of bigger channels that they just cut down content. So in this video, this is the information that I only heard from DJ Akademiks. Because DJ Akademiks Well, I'm gonna just play the video and just to build up exactly the point that I'm trying to get to. So we're gonna go with
anything wrong, but I'm sure they're not.
By the way, everyone wants me to look up this is and
All
they
right,
said,
guys, I'm gonna break for lunch. We will be back. We did 10 minutes.
all right, he getting off here. We here for the marathon. They said this right here. They said ain't no grown man carrying this right here. They said this bitch was lime green. They said this was this shit right here, bro.
so we see here Akademiks is claiming to show the color of the gun. Now he got the make of the gun correct, but he's showing the color and the make of the gun, what he perceives it to be.
They said Tory can't be singing songs like Shooter and popping out with one of these. They said no way Tory gonna pull out one of these joints right here if he been singing songs like Shooter. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you though. I do have a very like I have like 26 of them joints. I got like 26. You know what I mean? I got a sniper rifle. I got a sniper rifle that costs like $6,000. I ain't even really use it to. They say you can shoot a mile, nigga. I probably won't hit nothing but shit. Like when I bought this shit, I felt like that nigga a shooter. You know the nigga who was doing the shit with the president shit? I'm like, damn, I felt like that nigga, man. It got the whole little stands and shit. Like it's like, and the fucking bullets like this, nigga. But I got one of these joints right here.
So he's just gonna speak about his experience with this firearm, but he's also gonna talk about the color. So you see he has a lime green color here.
I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. Nah, let me not. I ain't incriminating myself at all, motherfucker. Listen, I'll say this. Some niggas might buy this to be like, oh, this, I could get this in the club. But the lime green and like the colors and shit, this is like some girl shit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So there's two aspects to this that I want to highlight. So he's talking about the size. So this is a smaller size pistol, semi-automatic pistol. It's a lot smaller, but he's saying the color will be more attractive to women. So he speaks about the size, but he also speaks specifically about the color several different times.
Like apparently these shit come in different colors like Jolly Ranchers, my nigga. Like fucking Starburst.
So he's saying it comes in different colors with this specific company, specifically geared towards selling to women.
I don't know. But I know a lot of niggas with that, you know what I mean? Some niggas be having some smaller guns that they could get into some places, but you know what I mean? Like, again, why would Tory have that if he don't have it on him and it's just in the car? Why would you have like this gun in the car?
So we're gonna go to the next clip.
Nigga, at least have a 4.5 on you, nigga. Like, nigga. I mean, I could see Meg copping the pistol to match the outfit, match the bikini.
So now he's saying because of the light green colors, he's saying it's plausible that Meg Thee Stallion copped the pistol to do a mix and match with fashion of the bikini.
I've seen weirder shit. Somebody said, nigga, that's a Glock Dookie, nigga. Somebody said, what's Kelsey's favorite color? Oh my God.
Yeah, and the big one of his big theories throughout the trial was that Kelsey was possibly the shooter. So now people in the chat are saying, oh, what was Kelsey's outfit? Because they went to Kylie Jenner's party and it was a pool party. So they were in bikinis. So that's why they are trying to match the color to the possible bikini. Again, it's a very bright color. Women are more attracted to brighter colors. So they're more likely to get a pistol that's a bright color. And he's inferring Tory Lanez is least likely to have a pistol of this type of color. Like I said, he's talking about the size and the color. He makes both points, but he makes the color points several different times.
Oh, yeah. looks like a girl gun, right? I'm gonna tell you the truth. So I don't have a, I don't even know if you call it SCCY or a PSI. I don't have one of these, but I forgot
I'm gonna go to
which
the
one.
next
Is
clip.
it SIG? It's really small though, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't know if y'all nigga got bitch ass nigga hands, but like my hands can't fit around the handle. Like the handle is just literally too short. So like there's a mag extender that I have in there to make sure I can hold it correctly. You get what I mean? Because otherwise it's like I'm holding it with two fingers, my nigga. It's like you're holding it like this, but it's just nigga, you can't aim possibly if you can't get a good grip of the gun. Now, granted, you might be like, well, Tory. Somebody said, I ain't gonna lie to you. Meg bathing suit definitely matched the gun. Stop it. Let me see what Meg was wearing the night of. Registered gun.
So you see how now people are making comments about the color. They're trying to match it to the outfit. They're saying it's a fashion thing. And this is most definitely a woman's gun. So let's go to the final clip where he makes the final comment just to drive the point home about the color.
Trying to sneak a gun into a club would have this, or a woman. I think his is a little bit longer. I think that's slightly fatter. Pause. Yeah. If you're asking me, only a nigga trying to sneak a gun into a club would have this, or a woman. And by the way, the mere fact, like if you go to a gun store, you're gonna see them in pink, bright colors. You're gonna see them in colors that are attractive for women. You get what I mean? Remember when that girl was trying to pull out a gun on me at Fresh and Fit? Nigga, she had one of these. I kid you not, she had one of these. The original pocket rocket, man.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. So I think the point has been really driven home in terms of academics' interpretation of not only the size, but also the color. So I was going through, and like I said, this is where I only heard the color of the strap. I didn't hear anybody else say that it was a lime green color, right? So he specifically said it was a lime green color because it's attractive to women. So it's more likely it wasn't Tory's gun. That's the whole premise of why he's bringing up the color of the gun. So after the trial, Nick at Night and Street TV went down to the courthouse and got the evidence because now it could be released to this public. There's this thing that there's a conspiracy to leak the evidence when evidence after a trial is public. It's now public information. Anybody can go get it if they pay a fee, of course. So I was going through the evidence on her page, right? So this is the post. And I'm just going through, and here's a picture of the gun, and here's another picture of the gun. So I'm just looking at this a bit shocked, to be honest, because I was given the information that this was a lime green color and it's more likely a woman's gun. But from what I can see here, this, to me, at first glance, it looked like it was black. But if anything, this might have been a olive green color, deep olive green, if this is not black. To me, it's the flash, but this could be a very dark green color, right? So this is the actual color of the gun, okay? And just to make sure we have the proper information, the proper exhibits, here's Street Gangs TV, streetgangs.com. So this is Street TV on YouTube. And they put out all 47 exhibits of all 47 evidence exhibits of the trial. So we're just going to cross-reference and make sure we have the correct picture of the gun, right? So it says here, photo of green 9mm. So it's definitely the same, right? It's definitely the same. So how can DJ Akademiks boldly state that this was a lime green when in actuality this is more of a regular green color, indicating that this isn't a gun that's gonna be owned by a woman, or it's gonna be the color specifically is gonna be sold to women. And this is definitely the same weapon. It's definitely the same make, so he did get the make right. I just want to point that out, right, as we can see here. And we can see that this does have a bit of a greenish color to it. It's not a traditional green. People call this a olive green, right? That's an actual olive green. Here's a black one on its side, right? Show another one. This is the SCCY. Here's another black one, right? So even here, we could even do a side-by-side comparison. Make this a little bit smaller. Do a little side-by-side comparison. This is definitely the same model. We have this little sort of like an extended butt, just to make the handle a little bit longer, because it is a smaller type of firearm. Same here. We have this little rectangular plastic piece right behind the trigger. Same thing here. And we see these grooves here. Groove, the groove here, the groove here. Only thing difference is the slide lock is cocked back. And we have these little holes at the back here. So this is definitely the same make. So I'm just looking at this and saying this is definitely not the lime green that Akademiks was portraying it to be. So I feel like that was a very big misstep. I feel like it was very, if anything, loose and sloppy. Like, I would have to give Akademiks the benefit of the doubt of not purposely putting this information out there, even though he is biased, just because I don't know exactly what's going on through his mind. I don't know why he would want to purposely put out this information, even though he's just Tory Lanez's friend. I think because he's Tory Lanez's friend, that's why I'm giving him the benefit of doubt of putting information out there without really referencing, cross-referencing, and making sure that it's 100% accurate. So that's the thing. It's about public perception, and a lot of people were listening to Akademiks, Lawyers for Workers, Milagro Grams, and that's why they were upset with the verdict, because the whole time they were painting this picture that Tory Lanez would get off on the charges, and he did not. So that is the second piece of misinformation given out during this trial from DJ Akademiks. Now the third one was a little bit more general. I'm going to explain it, but we're going to start off with Lawyers for Workers here and his reporting about Sean Kelly's testimony. Now there's a huge discrepancy I see with people reporting about what Sean Kelly said about how Tory Lanez was firing the weapon, but I'll just play it just to get it started.
Hollywood writers can't make this stuff up. Wait until you hear what the eyewitness testimony was this morning at the Tory Lanez trial. They asked Mr. Kelly, do you know why you're here? He said, absolutely. The defense attorney put up a picture of the back of his home. You could see a driveway. They had him draw a square where the SUV was parked. It was right on the curb of the back of his house, 10, 15 feet. His window is overlooking it. He stepped out onto his Juliet balcony and he watched for several minutes as Meg Thee Stallion and Kelsey, the two females, he didn't identify them by name, got out of the car and they were engaged in a fight. It was violent. It was quite aggressive. It started with arguing that woke him up in the middle of the night. Where his house is, often him and his son are woken up in the middle of the night by people who stop in and around the back of his home. This was another night, arguing, escalation, two women fighting. He watched the whole thing while standing on his balcony. Oh my God, it gets crazier. As he looked down on a fight that he described as quite violent, he then saw the larger gentleman, this is presumably the security guard Quan, come and violently try to separate them. Eventually, all four were involved in what he called an aggressive, everyone fighting, essentially just a melee, a free-for-all between four people in the middle of the night, right outside of his back window. He said at one point he saw one woman go back towards into the car. At that point, he saw a muzzle flash. Then he said there was a man, and after the first few shots from the woman came off, he saw the man getting involved with the woman and more shots went off. On cross-examination, the prosecutor asked him, did you see the man shoot? He said, yes, I saw the shorter man with a gun shooting violently in the air at least 5 times.
So there you have it. He reported, Lawyers for Workers reported that Tory had shot in the air and even motioned his hand up towards the air to show that. So what does this have to do with Akademiks? Well, I mean, Lawyers for Workers has been big ever since the 6ix9ine trial. So a lot of Akademiks viewers would view Lawyers for Workers for getting information. That's one of the people he was checking up regularly with, Lawyers for Workers, Milagro Grams to be specific. Also Dennis Barron, but Dennis Barron was more of a neutral source of information. So I'm just going to play the part here where he's mentioning shooting in the air again.
There are, I won't say holes because it's not like she said, well, maybe she did say there was definitely no fight, but you realize Meg's story isn't completely aligning with the events that night. Would you continue to pursue this?
No, and this is my point. But how the case got pursued, the LAPD was not diligent. The eyewitness told you about an argument between 2 women, about that escalating, about a physical altercation between 2 women. How do you not ask either of those women about that? What the fuck? At this point, I don't care if we have video of everything that happened before the moments that Tory takes out a gun and says, you people are crazy, everybody stop, and he fires in the air and a bullet ricochets and somehow hits Megan. The entire investigation.
So you see how he presented the testimony? The testimony that he heard was that when Sean Kelly said Tory was firing the weapon, he was firing in the air. So he's mentioned this several times about Tory firing in the air. Like I said, Akademiks audience watches Lawyers for Workers because there's already a mutual relationship for a very long time already. So I'm just showing this because it's a huge discrepancy in what was said in the court, because I know this, apparently other people heard the same thing or reported the same thing, I should say. And I just don't understand why. So here is a debate. This is Nick at Night with another person that was in the trial. So these two, they were both in the trial, right? And just look at the complete difference. 2 people in the same court, and look how the information comes out.
Was in court and he was Team Tory the whole time. Anything that they posted that clearly was like, come on now. Tino was saying, nope, it's this. So let me you know, we picked on Tino back and forth, but he was a sweetie.
I was coming from just a logical standpoint on everything. What this whole trial was just basically, I feel like based on was this it was a
camera.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on. I'm new to this. Y'all be coming up with new streaming sites every 5 minutes. I swear. I don't even know what to do.
Okay, go ahead.
My apologies, but I just felt like this whole thing was just basically over betrayal and loyalty. This whole situation happened off of betrayal and loyalty. Disloyalty. And it was between Meg and Kelsey. I don't think Tory played a part in the whole shooting situation.
He was firing everywhere. Okay, so that's when he was on the stand and he was talking about Tory, and he said Tory was firing like this. He was saying
he didn't do it like this. No.
He did like this in the air, like this.
He was like this, like this, like that. He didn't say he was pointing directly at people because
he was shooting everywhere.
It would have been people hitting the chest.
So he did like this.
No
he said Tory was shooting like this.
He did like this.
Tory was shooting. So if Tory was shooting like this, how
even in Kelsey in her
gun miss her head and the rest of her body, and it went and crawled up under her feet?
Because Kelsey, the one who shot her, she actually went and shot with the
What was Tory doing? It was only 5 shots.
Tory was part. It was. I don't even think he did all 5 of those shots. Man, I think he was part of the last 2.
You listened to the gun
when he was trying to grab her. What'd you say? If you listen to the gun,
what?
I think Tory was trying to grab old girl who was shooting Kelsey. He was grabbing a girl who was shooting, and while she was still pulling the trigger, he probably had her arm like this, and it was still going off.
But the guy didn't say he had a girl's arm, and the arm was going like
tussling.
He said, was the short? He said.
You see, so Neek was actually taking notes, and she's looking right directly into the notes. Like I said, Neek, or maybe I didn't say it, but I think Neek was more impartial. I would say she was more leaning towards not knowing who did it, more leaning towards. I guess Tory not being guilty, but she was as impartial as she could be. Definitely more impartial than Milagograms and Lawyers for Workers and some others. More closer to Dennis Byron coverage.
Hold on. He said, you saw a muzzle flash when the smaller guy got out. He said, yes, they were all fighting. He said, was the short guy saying anything? He said they were all shouting. Do you recall saying the chap got out and started shooting? He said he was very agitated. He was firing everywhere, and he did like this. But according to Tino, he did like this, which Tino knows is a lie.
So she's basically calling him out in the way that he's reporting what he had heard. And like I said, got 2 different people in the same court, and they come out with 2 different interpretations. So in my opinion, this guy, whoever he is very biased towards Tory Lanez's side 100%, because if Sean Kelly didn't say Tory was shooting in the air, then how did Lawyers for Workers in the sky put in the air in Sean Kelly's mouth? It's very interesting.
Anyways, they said, how many shots? They said, how many shots? He said it was about 4 or 5 shots. After they did that, then they played the audio of the gunshots at that point. So let me play the audio of the gunshots like they did in court, child.
For sure.
They played after that. They played the audio, and Tino, he even said the audio not real, child. We gonna listen to Tino.
The audio that you released yesterday don't sound like what was in court. The one in court was sped up. It was a lot faster. But you can play it. Yeah.
Child, Tino is something funny. Child,
I promise you, I'm not making. I really wish this whole thing was like televised so people could see what took place.
All right, so in that audio, he had Kelsey's hand, and he was doing her hand like this.
That's what I feel. Yes, and the dude just couldn't tell what was going on.
So the shots that go pow, pow, pow.
That was Kelsey, pow, pow. Yeah.
Tory is grabbing Kelsey's hand like this.
Yes. He was tussling with her for the gun. The girl took it to a whole nother level. She was hurt behind measures. Like it's obvious that she's the one who did it. She had the motive.
Right. So you see the lengths he's going to say that the gun was in the air, right? But this is why I say you need to check several different sources. So I'll just be driving the whole point home now with this final piece of disinformation, right? So just have to look into the media and what was said. Tory Lanez was firing everywhere after brawl in Megan Thee Stallion shooting trial witness testifies. So I would think, I'm pretty sure if Sean Kelly did say that in the air, it would be in the headline in the air, but it says firing everywhere. So I'm just wondering if people took the word everywhere and decided to replace it with air. Because you know how people, you hear words and then you just replace it with another word, right? I generally think people took everywhere and just replace it with air, as in it was the same, right? But the hand motions is also a discrepancy as well too. Some people say he was firing forward. Other people say that he was firing in the air for some reason. But the media is reporting that Sean Kelly said he was firing everywhere. We have Law and Crime. This is Megan Cuniff. She was the court reporter that was given the play-by-plays, giving the real information and debunking the misinformation. Even during the trial, people had reported, not DJ Akademiks, I'm not going to put that on DJ Akademiks, but not people, but publications like No Jumper Say Cheese, said that the verdict leaked and Tory Lanez was found not guilty. Megan Cuniff cleared that up and said how I don't even want to get into it. Like that part was very silly as well too. But Megan Cuniff, she was tweeting the entire time. It even says here in trial twist, defense witness testifies Tory Lanez was firing everywhere. So this entire time before Sean Kelly, the defense was saying the gun was never in Tory's hand, and the defense's witness put the gun in Tory's hand. And somewhere from there, some people took the information that Tory Lanez was firing everywhere, and some people interpreted the information that Tory Lanez was firing in the air. So we got another article, Yahoo Finance, Tory Lanez star witness says he saw a rapper firing everywhere. And again, here, this is a Canadian publication, right? But down here, it says Sean Kelly was called by the defense, but both sides argued his account favored them. He said he saw muzzle flashes that appeared to come from a woman, but also said he saw a small man firing everywhere. So this idea that he was firing in the air, I don't think exists. I really do not think exists. I think if we go into the transcripts of the court case, I'm not sure if the transcripts are out, but I'm pretty sure if we go into the transcripts of Sean Kelly's testimony, in the air is not going to be anywhere. What we're going to find is firing everywhere. Firing everywhere, right? So this is more of a learning lesson for independent media. I think of myself, but I also think of other people coming up as well too. And it's just very important. If we make a mistake, we have to fix it, or else it's going to look like we have an agenda, right? So yeah, I will give DJ Akademiks the doubt on this, right? But if he continues, in the same pace and not really correcting what he's doing, then it's going to look like he's purposely giving out disinformation, right? He's doing it on purpose. And that's why independent media, we got to show journalistic integrity because of leadership. A retraction is not the end of the world. A retraction may be painful, but it could be quick and simple, like ripping off a Band-Aid. You messed up, so you just got to show everyone that you're willing to admit when you messed up. Because if you're not willing to admit when you messed up and you just double down and continue on with ego, it's not going to look good along down the line when people continue to cover stories. So I will give DJ Akademiks the benefit of the doubt, but this is just a message to all independent media. If Akademiks is the face of Black media, or looked at as the face of Black media, and all these mistakes are made, it's just going to come down on the rest of us. But that's all I really have to say. I just had to put that out there. Misinformation, disinformation is a very, very serious thing. Other people chew that information and form their opinions based off of faulty information. That's the real danger that's going on. Akademiks easily had 40,000 on YouTube, 20,000 on Twitch watching during his live stream, and he did hours. So he kept strong, consistent numbers throughout. So you've seen he did a poll. He did a poll right before the trial. And now we've seen the backlash. People don't believe the trial. People are still claiming that there was no DNA found. They're still repeating pieces of disinformation. Even in that petition that girl made for Tory Lanez for the appeal, she had several pieces of disinformation. I could even go into that and break down that as well too. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show that, just wanted to exercise intellectual integrity and research. And that's pretty much it. Tell me what you think. Peace out to the next video.